Hello, welcome to this video discussing reactive Satanism. Now this is just a quick video I wanted to make. I'll be making a more kind of meditative or music based video to help you get closer to Lucifer, hopefully in a couple of weeks. But you know, as you do when we're looking through kind of material, you sometimes come across things which feel particularly important to talk about. And something I've been coming across a lot recently is the matter of reactive Satanism. Now, reactive Satanism was something that was developed in the 1980s, so it's actually fairly recent, particularly if you think back to all the kind of rather ancient roots of a lot of modern day theistic satanic practices. But reactive Satanism is a type of theistic Satanism. That is, it is a form of Satanism that believes in a literal Satan or Lucifer. However, unlike many aspects of theistic Satanism, that whilst acknowledging how certain ideas might have influenced the depiction of a kind of rebel fallen angel that shares some similarity to Lucifer, reactive Satanism actually claims that Lucifer is the kind of devil described in texts like the Bible, and is therefore essentially a creature that is kind of solely focused on darkness and sin. And this I kind of find is troubling in that I don't really see it depicting the proper nature of Lucifer, and I feel it's missing a lot from it, and doesn't really reflect very well who Lucifer is. Although this is just my personal opinion, and you're obviously very much free to disagree, and I would definitely encourage a discussion around this topic. But, you know, in terms of personal opinion, and this is simply my personal opinion, I feel kind of that reactive Satanism is much like trying to describe how shadow works without any reference to light. And just as you cannot have a shadow being properly described without light, and to do so would be demonstrating a firm misunderstanding of the shadow, similarly, you can't have this dark aspect of Lucifer without acknowledging the lights within him, because the light within him actually motivates him and all his followers to investigate the world and create new things, and the shadow, the kind of natural tendency of things to be imperfect, is actually a part of what makes things amazing. If things were perfect, then there would be no improvement, there would be no progress, there would be nothing to try to overcome. And also imperfection tends to make things beautiful, but Satan is also not, is not a holy being that is opposed to kind of perfection, in that, he is striving for kind of ensuring that the universe becomes as great as it can be. So Lucifer, whilst acknowledging the darkness and necessary imperfection in things, is not the kind of being to, permanently dwell in darkness. Now, this is just a personal view. You may have a very different view on the matter, but I think the existence of this reactive Satanism is rather fascinating, because it is very much a reaction against Abrahamic theology, whereas most satanic practices is, at least partly fighting against a satanic fighting against Abrahamic mentality. Most satanic practices is against the idea of, being totally subservient and unquestioning and bowing down before some all-powerful God. But this reactive Satanism seems to kind of be opposed to the Christian theology that one should fight for good, and they seem to actually be postulating the reverse of that statement. But, nobody really knows for certain everything concerning Lucifer, because we are only humans, and as humans there are limits to what we can perceive. But I definitely find, particularly because I was raised in a Christian household, I find this kind of new take on biblical scripture rather interesting. And it'll be interesting to see where reactive Satanism goes, and also hopefully have lots of dialogue between reactive Satanists and other kinds of Satanists, because I think one thing that is very important is that as Satanists we kind of keep together, and we support each other, because it's not easy being a member of kind of a group that society doesn't always fully recognise or value. Society can be very very particular about the kind of religions it accepts. So I feel like, dialogue between Satanists and Satanists helping each other from all different walks of Satanism is hugely important, and also this eclectic mix of different kinds of Satanists can only lend to the strength of Lucifer. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to this video. I know this video is rather different to most of my other videos in that this isn't so much providing information or kind of giving music to help getting closer to Lucifer, but hopefully this kind of helps with kind of thinking about different kinds of satanic practices and who Lucifer is to you as well. So I hope that this has been a useful video to listen to, and I wish you all kind of a very, very good week ahead, and many satanic blessings, and hopefully see you all soon for my next video, and thank you very much for listening.